Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something pretty specific but really important for Hawaii.
Yeah, we're looking at a piece of legislation, H.R.375. It's called the Continued Rapid Ohia Death Response Act of 2025.
Right, quite a title. So our goal here is to break down what this bill actually proposes. We're working directly from the bill text itself, from the 119th Congress.
Exactly, and it's focused squarely on Rapid Ohia Death. The bill itself defines this. It's a disease hitting the Metrosideros polymorpha tree.
That's the Ohia tree, right? The iconic one.
That's the one. Caused by a fungus, Stratocystis fimbriata. It's a serious threat to Hawaii's native forests. Huge ecological implications.
Okay, so the threat is clear.
Yeah.
What's the main point of this bill then? What action is it driving?
Well, the core idea really is mandating partnership. It explicitly directs the Secretary of the Interior to team up with the Secretary of Agriculture.
And the state of Hawaii?
And the state of Hawaii, yes. To work together on tackling this disease, it recognizes you can't do this in silos.
Yeah, that makes total sense. An ecological problem doesn't really care about, jurisdictional lines.
Precisely.
So beyond just saying work together, does the bill get specific about what needs to continue? What are the sustained efforts it outlines?
It does. It highlights three main areas for ongoing work. First up is research, specifically on how the disease spreads the transmission vectors.
Okay, who's doing that?
The bill points to the Secretary of the Interior through the USGS Director and also the Chief of the Forest Service via their Institute of Pacific Islands Forestry. They're tasked to keep digging into how this fungus moves around.
Got it. Understanding the pathways, that seems critical for stopping it.
Absolutely crucial. If you don't know how it travels, containment is guesswork.
Right. So research is one. What's the second area?
The second is managing ungulates.
Ungulates, like feral pigs, goats.
Exactly, those kinds of animals. The bill directs the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to keep partnering with agriculture, the state, and importantly, local stakeholders too.
On federal land and state land.
Federal, state, and private land, but only with the landowners okay, of course. The idea is controlling these animals in the ROD control areas.
And how do they connect to the disease?
Well, ungulates can damage the trees, physically wound them, creating openings for the fungus. And they might even, help spread the spores as they move through the forest.
Ah, I see. So it's about managing factors that make the trees more vulnerable or help the disease spread. Interesting. Okay, what's the third sustained effort?
The third piece is about continued financial help channeled through the Forest Service. This money is for a few things.
Like?
Preventing the disease from spreading further, number one. Number two, actually restoring native forests that have already been hit.
Okay, so mitigation and restoration.
Right. And crucially, it also includes funding for staffing and infrastructure for that Institute of Pacific Islands Forestry we mentioned earlier, so they can keep up their research work.
So it sounds like a pretty comprehensive approach. Research, management, restoration, and funding the infrastructure for it all.
Yeah, it tries to cover the key bases.
Now, where does this bill stand? What's its journey been so far?
Well, according to the document, it's already passed in the House of Representatives. That's a big step.
Okay. And
then it was sent over to the Senate. That happened on January 24th, 2025. And it's been referred to their Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry.
So it's currently waiting for Senate committee action.
That seems to be the status based on this text.
Okay, let's try to sum this up then. What's the bottom line takeaway from H.R. 375?
I think the main takeaway is that this bill signals an ongoing federal commitment. It's not a one-off thing. It emphasizes collaboration, interior, agriculture, Hawaii, and sustained effort across multiple fronts. Research, managing those ungulates, and actively restoring the forests.
It really highlights that tackling these complex ecological threats needs, a lot of different players working together over the long haul.
Definitely. It's
Wow.
not a quick fix.
It does make you think, doesn't it? We see the legislative framework here, the mandated cooperation. But thinking beyond the bill text, what other factors, maybe outside of government directives, do you, the listener, think are really essential for making this kind of effort truly successful on the ground in Hawaii? Something to chew on.